So I will transfer you my energy. I will transfer my karma. Here is my karma on you.
We are brother.
Please record.
Boom. 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 And we are connected to the cloud server. How's it feel to be connected to the cloud server again, Shane?
It's pretty awesome. Do you know what the cloud is?
Do I?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like data storage.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of like servers, and if you think about like technology is so good now where let's say I buy like a server just for myself.
Yeah.
There's so much space on that server where I'm never going to use all of it. So why don't I either like rent it or lease it out or something to other people, or other people buy the space for me essentially?
Yeah.
Makes so much sense.
That does make sense. When the internet was first becoming a thing, they used to think that you had to have, in order to be popular or like to get like what's considered now like page views, they thought that all of the content had to be on your server. So all of these different companies, the podcasts, different online businesses had to use your server, not just the World Wide Web. And it turned out not to be true. So,
Well, I know. Remember when Pokemon Go first came out, like 6 years ago or whatever?
yeah,
Well, they didn't realize how many people were actually going to do it, and they didn't realize how much, I guess, data or whatever or bandwidth is going to be. So, like the first day, it just crashed because they're using, I think, mostly their own servers instead of using both.
yeah. I don't know what they were doing, but they had like an event at in a Chicago park. I get whatever famous Chicago like outside venue they had a Pokemon Go event there, and they had to have like internal servers, like or like
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Like a different, like a certain, like a technological infrastructure set up throughout the park, and the thing still crashed, and they weren't able to find anything, and it's like that's crazy. But that's what 5G is going to be, right? Isn't that like smart streetlights and like smart sidewalks and shit like that? Isn't that what 5G is?
I don't know. I just think
so.
I kept hearing something that people thought 5G was causing the corona.
Yeah.
And the one guy took cream or something, just like some type of like lotion, and dubbed it 5G like protection, and he made like $500,000.
Hell yeah, good for that dude.
I was like, oh my gosh.
That's what we
need to do. It just goes to show how many idiots there are out there.
Yeah, it's true.
Gosh.
Yeah, it could have been us. Yeah, the people thought that, so since they were setting up all of these different 5G receptors or towers, they were saying that the radio waves that 5G puts out was different than other radio waves, so the human body wasn't used to it going through yourself. So that weakened the people's immune system. So that's how everyone got infected with COVID, because your immune system is weaker. Isn't that nuts?
People just do not know anything about health.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah. You listen to that Kevin Hart podcast on Rogan's?
Yeah.
It was pretty good. He's such a I need to find that type of drive that he has.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't know if you're born with it or what it is. You know what I mean?
I think everyone's born with it. It's just whether you are
tap
able
into it.
Yeah, like tap in, like for real, like tap into it, like really, like get yourself. Like I always say that I need to do a better job of getting myself out of my own way. I feel like I like my fears and my, the thoughts of me like being incapable of doing something limit me from actually reaching my full potential. So it's like trying to work on that. I mean, that's like in fitness, that's in trading, it's in like really anything, Just those limiting beliefs, right? That's a buzzword I learned in school.
So before I forget, for the listeners last time, I couldn't remember what a word was called, and it's the stupidest fucking thing. It was literally coping mechanism, which is a defense mechanism, and that drove me crazy. But I figured it out right away. So I just wanted to let you know. Coping. We cope with things.
Yeah. Sometimes I laugh when I don't know what to say. It's a lot. So
I forgot to mention this, but I have a habit cough sometimes, and it's really bad when I exercise. So it sounds like this.
Oh, I remember you telling me about this. This is interesting. So wait, so when you say so what? Like, give me an example of when you would do that when you're exercising,
playing soccer. Just playing soccer. It happens all the time. Like, I'll be running, and it feels like my throat's like super dry.
Yeah.
And it's like a like a cough like that.
Really?
But it's like.
That's interesting. And so honestly, it feels like it. Like it's not like.
It feels dry.
Oh wow, that's weird. It's not like just like when I say something that I can't really control. Oh, that's interesting.
No, it bothers me so much, but I can't really help it. Yeah. And I got it when I was in high school. I think I was actually sick when this happened, and I was just I think I was just coughing so much, and then all of a sudden it started happening. In my senior year in high school, it happened all the time, and it's not as bad. It used to be really bad, but the one guy, it was the regional final or something in soccer, and I kept doing it, and the kid kept making fun of me. And then at the end of the game, I was like, I did it when we were doing the line shaking. I was like, but one of the funny things is, we used to, when I was in high school and college, over the summer, we used to play pickup soccer on the tennis courts. So it's kind of like indoor.
Yeah, yeah.
So when I was playing, I would do it, and people would think I was laughing at them. So if they did something wrong, I would be like, sometimes it's just poor timing. It sounded like I was laughing, and they would always be like, "Are you laughing at me? Why are you laughing at me?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? I heard you laugh." I'm like,
it's weird.
No.
Yeah.
No. And it's so hard in the middle of playing soccer to explain that you have a habit cough, and people are like, "What's that?"
Yeah. No, seriously. No one wants to take the time to understand it. That's it's like, you what? Like, well,
such a weird thing. And I forget who I was listening to, but somebody else I was listening to actually had it or has it. And I think he's like a producer or something for like HBO or movies. So I was like, oh, okay. I don't feel as bad, but it's definitely not as bad. I don't think I'm doing it on the podcast, which was one of my biggest worries, that I was going to constantly be like, call me Wheezy.
Oh man, my grandma used to do that when she lived with us. Would be doing school, and she'd just clear her throat, and she didn't realize that she would do it, but she did it like all the time. She would just be like, and it's like, oh Jesus, drove me and my mom crazy.
So when we were pledging together, you know how we had like our, not frat names, but
pledge. Oh wait, are they pledge names?
Pledge names or frat names. Somebody wanted to call me like Wheezy or something.
Oh really?
Because.
One of your soccer, one of the soccer guys?
No, I think it might have been Ben, because he knew about it. Because I don't know, but I think it might have been. Anyway, they wanted to call me Wheezy because my habit cough.
That's funny.
What's going on, man?
Oh man, not a whole lot. We went out on the lake twice this past weekend. I did Bert I did my first hero workout in CrossFit with a weighted vest. Hero workout is a specific workout that's just designed to be a little bit tougher than a normal WOD, and it's dedicated to a fallen soldier. So like you've heard of Murph, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Murph is dedicated to Lieutenant Murphy, and that's a specific workout. And there's a whole bunch of them. And my gym on Monday, instead of doing Murph, because it includes pull-ups, Murph's a mile run, 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 air squats, and then another mile run. And you do a weighted vest, wear a weighted vest with it. And then, but since we haven't done pull-ups in fucking 3 months, he switched the workout to Burt, which is another hero WOD, which is 50 burpees, 400-meter run, 100 push-ups, 400-meter run, 150 walking lunges, 400-meter run, air squats, 200 air squats, and then you work back. So then you do 400-meter run.
Oh my god, that sounds lunges. Terrible.
Yeah, and I did it with my weighted vest, so 20 pounds. It was like, did it in 52 minutes and 40 seconds or something. Pretty proud of myself, but it was fucking tough as shit, and I'm still sore. I didn't do anything yesterday, and today I'm like still hobbling around.
So I didn't know that the CrossFit names were based off of fallen soldiers. So now I feel like a dick because I was always like, why do they call it these stupid names? And
yeah, some of them are like Cindy, Fran. Like if it's a girl's name, that's just a made up name because it's a real bitch of a workout. But if it's like those are like the benchmark workouts, like Fran, Cindy, and whatever they are.
So what's a Karen then?
Angry. Speak to your manager 3 times. Get your hair cut short.
Did you hear about those women who were saying that Karen is like calling a black person the N-word?
What?
Oh
my god, are you kidding me?
Those people are the worst.
That's so annoying. Oh my god. Did you hear that or did you read the news about that white lady who called and the black guy in New York City? You didn't hear about it? So that this white lady is walking her dog unleashed in Central Park in this specific spot, and this black guy is already there, and he's bird watching, and the white lady, and he tells the white lady, "Hey, could you put your dog on a leash? There's a sign that says you can't have it off a leash." And then she's like, I guess tells him to fuck off. So he then starts recording her, and she's like flipping out, and says, "I'm gonna call the police and say an African-American man is threatening me, so you better fucking stop." And he doesn't say anything, he's just recording, and while she's doing this, she's basically like hanging her dog because she's holding the dog by the collar. Yeah, so the dog is like freaking out, and so on. So she calls the cops, and she relays the message saying that an African-American man, like using it as a weapon against this guy who's just fucking bird watching. So that went viral, and the white lady, it's like pretty fucked. I mean, I don't think that she was right, but what happened to her is serious. Like she lost her job. Okay. She gave the dog away. And she wrote a full-page apology to the city of New York, saying I'm a shitty person, and all of this happened in like a day. Like, it's nuts.
See, that's one of those things too, where so I just heard that situation for the first time, saying that whole stuff about, I'm going to call the cops on you. Like, that is shitty. But it's one of those things where, okay, let's not get crazy. Let's not fire her for it. Why don't we just put her through some classes or something to, like, educate her instead? Like, hey, what you did was wrong. Because, now she probably would never get a job, and, now she might do something crazy. That's one of those things where when people make mistakes,
her name was everywhere too. It was like Amy Cooper, and like that's why This is awesome. This is a perfect segue into your topic. A bunch of people the ethical hackers got her information, and that's how like her job found out, the animal shelter, and then all of that stuff found out. So I didn't even realize the connection there, but that's how good of a fucking podcast this is. We're always on it.
What episode is it?
Episode 14.
I don't like that number. I don't like number 14.
It is a weird number. I
think I like 13 better than 14, surprisingly.
13 is a good number. That was my senior year. Episode 14. Shane's topic is ethical hacking. My topic is forging, ancient forging.
Like blacksmithing.
Blacksmithing, and specializing in weapons and armor. So with that, while we're on the topic, let's go ahead and talk about ethical hacking, or we can continue on this.
So it sounds like the people that got her information wouldn't be ethical hacking. It would actually just be hacking.
Yeah, I guess it depends on who's. Yeah, I mean, I bet they think they're being ethical.
Yeah, I guess that. I never even thought about it that way. So if it's getting the information without her consent, then it wouldn't be ethical.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
So there's typically hacking, which is obtaining information, I guess illegally. So that's actually called black hat. So that's what they call it in the IT world. It's called like black hat.
What,
so
the good kind?
No, black hat is bad.
Bad kind. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought you said.
Not racist. Just what it's called. There's also white hat, which is also known as ethical hacking, which is, typically that company will hire somebody to essentially hack or try to obtain information and vulnerabilities within a company to try to get the information and then kind of report it back to the company saying, hey, I was able to access your network by these methods and using these tools. And then there's a gray hat, which is kind of in between, where somebody will hack a company's information without their permission, but then be like, hey, your network's shit. Here is how I got in, so you should probably give me money to, because I'm helping you out. But yeah, I actually had a class on ethical hacking.
Like a freelancer almost.
Yeah, so there's actually jobs in ethical hacking. So I had a class because I'm doing cybersecurity, and I took the class because honestly, when you hear hacking, you think of, I always think of Swordfish. Have you ever seen the movie Swordfish?
Is that with what's her face?
It's Halle Berry.
Halle Berry, yeah. Halle Berry
God,
gets naked, right?
Yeah. John Travolta and Hugh Jackman. And Hugh Jackman's like this awesome hacker, and he goes in and like hacks like a whole bunch of like government databases and I think different banks and stuff. So when I heard ethical hacking, that's kind of one of the first thing I thought. But then when I took the class, it actually was kind of a bit of a letdown.
Was it boring?
Yeah, it was super boring.
It's not like being like an internet superhero.
Yeah.
That sucks.
So ethical hacking, I kind of already mentioned it. So ethical hacking is when a company hires somebody to find the vulnerabilities. So there's typically 6 stages, or yeah, I guess they would call it stages of ethical hacking. The first is reconnaissance. So that'd be like gathering information from the company. So you can actually do that in like a whole bunch of different ways. There's websites, or there's tools that you can use. One's called HPing, another one's Nmap, and another way to get information is literally you can go like dumpster diving. Let's say it's like a financial institution or something, and they shred information. If they're not shredding it properly, like using a company like Shred It, and they're just like throwing information away, they might be able to find, if you go dumpster diving, you might be able to find like a username or like a password or something. So there's different tools that you can use even online. You can literally Google, and there's a way in Google, it's like an advanced search where you can like Google a company and you might be able to find out some information. You can
crazy.
also find information about a company through sites like LinkedIn and Indeed or Monster. So let's say you're trying to pick a company, just a random company.
Virgin Galactic.
Okay. Let's say you're people don't know what that is.
It's what is it? It's what's the way to describe it? It's commercialized space flight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say you're trying to hack them. You go into their website and you go jobs, careers. And let's say they have a systems engineer position open, right? In that information, it will tell you sometimes like, oh, we need somebody who is versed in this type of software. Well, right then and there, you already know that, oh, they're using this kind of software. So like you kind of know where to attack. So depending on the company, if they put too much information out there, you might be able to find out.
Like what kind of suppliers they use, or like what apps they might use, like if they have Salesforce installed, or like what kind of like CRM. Wow. Okay. That's interesting. I never thought about that, but that's true.
So then let's say you have Salesforce, right? Let's say they use Salesforce.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes you can find their company just like employees on it. So let's say they have a sales rep, right, named John Smith. Well, most likely, or most companies, how they do usernames is like first initial, last name, or first name dot last name, or something like that.
Yeah.
So they can try to put that username in and then just try a bunch of different passwords. So they can try to break in to Salesforce, and then if they can break into that, well, heck, if this is their password and username for Salesforce, what else do they use? It might be the same. Because I don't know about you, but I use almost the same password for a bunch of different things, and I just change up. Every 30 or 60 days, I change up from like at the end, I'll do exclamation point or at or star.
Yeah.
So if they figured out, everybody does. So if you can get access to one thing, then you have a.
You know, it's weird. That password that I use for everything, this one time when I was like 9 years old. No, it had been older than 9. Maybe like I was in my teenagers, like 13 or 14. This kid asked me to like do something on a website for him. So he gave me the password, and then I've just used his password for all of my stuff. Don't ever expect that, you know. but password is not very hard. It's just very random to me.
And most companies know too. Most companies enforce a strong password, which is, I think, either 12 or 13 characters with at least one number and one special character. So I don't know. You can just try to figure something out.
An interview with Edward Snowden, the whistleblower for, you know who he is. He said, he gave an example of a password, and it was like a phrase. It's like Margaret Thatcher is 110% sexy. So it had like the percent sign in there, the exclamation point, the 0 and the 1, and then like capitals. It was just like, it was funny.
That would be an easy way to remember a password.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I would
might use
always,
that now.
I would always forget. Sometimes when the internet first started, and they started asking those security questions, like what was the name of like your first whatever?
Your
You know
first
what I mean?
pet.
Yeah, yeah. Well, when I was so young that like I didn't really have like a lot of stuff, so I had to like invent things. Like, so you know what I mean? Like, what was your first car? I was like, I'm 12. You know, it's like I don't really know. So it was like impossible for me to remember all of my security questions because I just made them up and I would forget every single time.
Those security questions are bullshit. They ask questions where it's like, what is your grandfather's middle name?
No,
It's like, well, I don't know his middle name.
I don't.
I don't know my I mean, that's bad. I hope he doesn't listen to this. Yep, I got nothing. I'll probably hear it and be like, oh, that makes sense. But like, yeah, it's
I
like,
mean, I know my grandma's middle name, so maybe it's just you, man. Maybe you're just a bad grandchild.
no, I'm a good grandchild. I'm just bad with names, especially middle names. Who cares about my middle names?
Yeah.
My middle name's after my grandfather's name, Daniel. That's his name. So that's good enough, you know. It's like middle name is his name, good enough.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, you have like you have a name within your name.
Yeah.
Yeah, John Joseph doesn't work as well. Joseph is a last name sometimes.
Is it John Joseph or is it Juan Jose?
Juan Jose.
We were talking. I forget we were talking about that, and I was in the car, and I don't know. We were talking about names, how like Spanish names. Sometimes it can be. It might have been Jesus, because I think those candles. It was like Jesus and Jesus.
Oh, those candles that you sent me?
Yeah.
Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. That was the first joke that I ever made in public school. I was in Spanish class in 8th grade, and we had to pick a Spanish name.
Spanish name.
Yep.
All right. Can you guess what mine was?
No. What was it?
My Spanish name was Armando.
That's funny. That's good. That's good. When it was my turn, as a joke, I said my name is Jesus, and it was funny, and everyone laughed because it was clearly Jesus because we were in Spanish class. And this one kid called me Jesus the whole year. Yeah, it was funny. I didn't really like him that much.
Anyway, back to our regular scheduled programming. I think we just talked about the reconnaissance phase, which was step 1, which is gathering information, which, yeah, I mean, sometimes it's really easy to get information. So after you obtain information, step 2 is what's known as the scanning phase. So this is when you also use tools. Some of the tools you would use called NXpose, Nmap. You try to spot vulnerabilities.
Nice.
Yay. So that could be an example of a vulnerability. Could be, let's say you have somebody who just got fired, right?
Okay.
However, you don't terminate their access on like the back end. So you don't like put lock account or something. Somebody, if they get their username and password, could go in and essentially start working as that individual if they have it.
Yeah.
So, and if you're an IT person in a big company, you might not know who Karen Smith or Karen whatever is.
Right.
And so she's just doing what you think is work, But right there, I mean, that's a pretty big deal. You have somebody who's hacking and got information for an employee, and now, I mean, if they have any type of rights, they can figure out kind of how the company works, and then they can figure out, oh, like now I can probably get access to email, and now I can go into the address book and I can search people by their job titles. So then you can be like, oh, well, this person is an administrator for this, so maybe I can try to figure out their information, or so they're essentially, so that is actually the next step. Stage 3 is gaining access. So you try to exploit the vulnerabilities and you gain access into the system. So step 4 is maintaining access. So people, once they're in, they install backdoors into the system. So once you're granted access, especially if you're able to get into like a system administrator role or something, you can create like fake accounts or something, and then you can install backdoors where you can get in whenever you want. And there's also a tool called Metasploit, which Metasploit to, I guess, create backdoors and to maintain access. And then step 5 is clearing tracks. So if you're a good hacker, you want to be able to get into the system. However, you want to make sure that you aren't found out. So you want to get rid of anything that you might have been in. If you did find like a user account that you were exploiting, when you're kind of done, you kind of want to get rid of that account or lock that account, or just do whatever you can to make sure people know that you were not in the network. And then last but not least is step 6, reporting. So you just go back and you summarize what you did, which tools you use, how you found the information, you report it back to the company. And then you get paid. You get paid. So that's ethical hacking for you in a short summary.
Nice. Thank you, Shane. I thought ethical hacking was, well, I guess what I thought it was more of a, like the example with the newspaper, or not the newspaper, like the news story on that lady. It was that like a bunch of people could find your information very easily and like tell you where your weaknesses are with all of your accounts and passwords and stuff.
No, I guess that would just be hacking if it's not legal, or like if you don't get the permission.
But so can you go to jail?
Pretty sure.
That?
Yeah.
I feel like I've been on like a Reddit thread, and someone was like, all right, everybody like ethical hack me or hack me. And people were just like putting out his shit all over the thread. But it was like, I guess it was like, I don't know about all over, like private. It was just like private messages or something. But they were like sending him his bank PIN number and all this kind of crazy stuff.
So I feel like that situation, you're almost giving approval.
Yeah. All right. All right. So yeah, that makes sense. So since
because
he was
let's say I just went in and like try to get into your bank accounts, and I was like, John, here's your username, here's your password to your bank accounts. I know what you have. You would be like pretty pissed, right?
Yeah.
I would be super pissed. I'm like, hey, like, what the fuck? Like, so I'm pretty sure that's illegal.
If you hacked into my stuff, yeah.
Yeah, without your permission? Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess that's the same thing. Yeah, because, yeah, it's so interesting. The weirdest part about that is that you never really know. You know what I mean? Like people can hack into your stuff, get stuff, and just not do anything. You know what I mean? Someone could be like watching us right now. you know?
So I think there's a difference too. I think what you're trying to get at is hacking, like, to be ethical.
Like using hacking. I think of it as like a superpower because it's like you can do stuff that people like you get to do. You can hack into Fort Knox. You know what I mean? Like that is a superpower to me.
So one of the things is, let's say you are working, or you know a company is doing some shady stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to hack into their information and expose them. So it's hacking because you want to be, I guess, you want that company to be ethical. So you're kind of putting their information out there.
Mm-hmm.
But that's illegal.
Yeah, it's true.
Even if that company's doing illegal stuff,
Right.
if you do the illegal stuff too, it's technically not ethical on your end, even though you're trying to be ethical by exposing them.
Yeah. It's kind of like when like a police officer gets like hard evidence, but they can't use it in the court because it wasn't considered, it wasn't presented at the beginning or whatever that is. That's interesting. Oh, cool.
That's the one thing I hate about the whole double jeopardy law, where if you were
go to jail for the same murder or same crime twice.
Let's say I'm in court for like attempted murder.
Yeah.
And I'm not guilty, but then a month later they find the gun that I used, my fingerprints all over it, me on video doing it. It's like, okay, I know I got away with it, but literally I did it. So
yeah.
I think that's stupid.
Yeah.
In those cases where it's clear cut, now I get it if it's like, I don't know, maybe something petty, but when it comes to like murder and stuff, if you get away with it and they come back later and find like clear evidence, I feel like they should be able to open that up.
Yeah, I feel like they can't they?
I don't think so.
Really? I feel like like they have to like get someone can open it up. You know what I mean? Like, because I feel like people have been exonerated like after death. If someone is like sentenced to death and they die, and then later on they would say like, hey, like this person actually wasn't blah blah blah.
So there's a great movie.
But for some reason I said that.
Who's the guy in The Notebook?
Ryan Reynolds.
No, you're not Ryan Reynolds. It's
Ryan Sharp.
No, what the hell's his name? He was in
Matt Ryan.
No, Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling. So he's in a movie with.
You just say it louder.
Who's the guy who played Hannibal Lecter? And like Red Dragon.
DiCaprio.
No, Anthony.
Hopkins.
Yeah.
So there's a movie with Ryan Gosling and Anthony Hopkins where Anthony Hopkins puts like his wife in a coma essentially because he found out she was cheating on him, and then he's like not guilty for that, but then after he's not guilty, he's like, oh well, I killed her, I put her in the coma and there's nothing they can do about it because of double jeopardy. And then he goes, well, you actually just pulled the plug, so she's dead now. So instead of attempted murder, it's murder. So now we can charge you. So now we can charge you for murder instead. And he's like, fuck.
Nice.
So he got away with attempted murder and literally said that he did it, but you can't charge him, even though he said it. That's the one thing about laws, man. There's so many loopholes and there's so many laws that just don't make sense.
I know. That's why being a lawyer is so important, or having a good one at your side, not being one. I don't know anything about the law.
Yeah, because they could literally go in and find some little loophole or some stupid little thing and be like, oh, well, we're going to sue you for this.
Yeah. And that's also how people some people get rich just by like finding loopholes in certain contracts or
Yeah.
clauses, and then it's all about being shady at that point, though. You know, I feel like real good business, honest business, is done up front. You know, without even any contracts. Do it in blood. Fucking slice your palm, dude. How serious would you take a business agreement if you had to slice your palm open and then shake another man's open sliced palm and then like kiss or something? How crazy is that? That's a lot of emotions going through your body at once. All right, you're bleeding from your hand. You probably fucked it up because you've never cut your hand before, so it's probably all jagged and shit. Now you're grabbing this other dude's hand who has God knows what, and you're making out with him. So you definitely have syphilis.
You always bring a sharp knife, though.
Yeah,
That's key.
always.
That's key
Just in
for
case you're going to
blood
enter
agreement.
into a life partnership with the nomad horse raider on the path. Let's
My thing is,
make this donut shop.
who was the first person who was crazy enough to be like, "You don't trust me?" No, I don't. Well, I'll cut myself for you, man.
Yeah. I feel like it didn't take. I feel like they didn't have anything else to give. You know, like they didn't have any collateral. Yeah, they didn't have anything else. It was like, my blood is sacred. This is a big deal. You know what I mean? That's basically like what they were trying to make us do in pledging. It's like make us be one. Let's get to these random facts. I want to get these random facts going. All right, so I'll go through foraging really quick. Thank you, Shane. Thank you,
I was
Max.
wondering what that was. I was
Yeah.
like, what is that squeaking? It's just a dog being a dog.
Just a dog being a dog. It's turning into a huge dog. So foraging. I focused on some ancient weapons. I'm reading this book about Genghis Khan, and Genghis Khan, genius. But
Lost.
some of the things that I didn't realize that the Mongols were known for, or introduced first into warfare, was, and just to give you a sense of how intense the Mongols took their warfare or their wars, Genghis Khan said that to win a war, it wasn't just about fighting itself. It was an entire people taking over another entire people. And it was just pitting both like civilizations against each other. And that was really intense because he used so many different tactics, like psychological warfare. They had these huge banners that they would put up, and then to scare the enemy away, or like they would put up the banners around a city with walls, like a fort, and then they would be there for a certain amount of time, and the people would see them and they would start running out. And when they ran out, then the Mongols would run in with their cavalry and kill them. But mostly Genghis Khan just a lot of people surrendered to him, and then he brought them in to the Mongols, and that's how the empire grew so much, because of his kind of adoption of each one of the leaders. So every time he conquered a city or a people, he adopted one of the eldest sons or something as his own son, and had, or I guess not the oldest son, it was actually like a baby. They adopted like a younger kid, and then his mother and her crew of other mothers raised his sons. So
Wasn't he
anyways,
like one of the first people to like implement, I don't know if it was horses or if it was like archery or something, into fighting, and that's why they had such an advantage.
well, yeah, where they lived in the steppe, I don't know how to pronounce it, and it's all over this book. It's spelled Steppe. I say steep and I say steppe. I think it's steppe, but it's just flat desert. There's like mountains and there's rivers, but they're far in between. So horseback is really important for them, and also archery. They carried a 60-pound bow, which it's not actually how much it weighs, but how much tension is in it. For you guys who don't know bow hunting, like me and Shane do, you know, we're fucking bow hunters. No, just kidding. But and they would fucking straddle the horse on its side with their legs and then shoot a bow and arrow off using the horse as protection. And that's how they did that. That's crazy. The Cherokee Indians did that too, in Navajo. It was nuts. But Genghis Khan also introduced like siege weaponry into the mix. So he had like, he would throw over like bombs and lit like not like boulders, but like a mass, an object that's lit on fire.
Like a big rock or something.
Yeah, it was like
with oil on it.
It was some like special. It was like a Mongolian word that they used. But yeah, he did a whole bunch of that stuff, and they used a lot of maces, which is fucking badass. So maces, it's kind of like a baton, and then attached to the baton is a steel chain link kind of chain, just a chain, and then at the end of the chain is attached. It's a spiky ball, and they would use a clay mold, pour the hot steel into the mold, and then swing that fucker around and knock some heads in. It's crazy. But not enough about Genghis Khan. Forging, it was interesting. I took a blacksmithing class with me, my cousin, and a few other people, not important. but it was so cool to see how hot it was, and then they had this lady get up and twist the hot steel around a pole to make it circular, and it was so interesting. It was just like taffy, you know. It was hard,
so malleable.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, and yeah, it was a lot of fun, but really it hasn't changed that much since you know, they did it back in ancient Greece. When I was doing my research, ancient Greece stuck out to me because I was like, why the fuck don't these people wear any armor? It's like you always see these, like in Troy, and all those movies, they're just wearing like a thong and a spear, you know. It's like, what are you guys doing?
Well, they had like a lot of like leather armor too instead of steel armor, because leather's still pretty strong, and it's light.
It was because they had those big ass shields. They said that the shield was from like their neck to cover their neck to their shins. And they would just hold this fucking, and I was like, okay, well that makes sense, because if they don't have anything else, because they have to carry this probably 100-pound shield everywhere. It's like, damn. And they said that's why the Greek, they're called hoplites. And again, I don't know how to pronounce it, but we're going to go with it.
How do you spell that?
Hoplite. And they had the big shield, so they would become the phalanx. You know, they had the spears, and everyone would line up in like a rectangle. So if they had hoplite, that's what I said. Yep. And then they line up in a line, and then just shoulder to shoulder, shield to shield, and then they would just go into battle. It would just go forward, but they couldn't. The shield was less effective when it was more one-on-one, because the people couldn't maneuver as fast. They needed more prowess when they were fighting individually.
I always think of Gladiator when I think of that, because Maximus, when they were in the Colosseum fighting, everybody would just go out on their own, and they would get fucked up by the people, but he was like, come together! Come together!
Are you not entertained?
And then they would fuck them up because they were actually organized, and all the shields were together. So when bows come at, it's so much harder to hit. Strategy, man. Strategy wins all.
It's true. It's true.
So for forging, I would love to do it because I watch, what's that called? Forge and Fire, the show, and there's so many seasons. It's so much fun, and I think we've already talked about this. I want a samurai sword, and I want to build my own eventually. But the process of making it, man, it can be so difficult because you have to heat up the steel.
Yeah.
And then you have to compress the steel because when you compress the steel, it makes it harder because I think the molecules get like tighter. And then to make it even stronger, you fold the steel and then you compress it. And then after you heat it and after you have it like formed in the way you want, you have to like dip it in the oil. But you don't, because that makes it cool. So it super cools it. But if you like cool it too fast, then the bonds don't hold together, and then like there's cracks in the steel and stuff, and so it's like there's such like a science behind it. So it just goes to show back in the day they made some pretty crazy things with, I guess limited technology, you would say.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, they could do crazy things back then. Why can't we figure out a way to do those crazy things now, but super easy?
Yeah. Well, back then everything was just like what gets me is that how they move those fucking big ass boulders around. Like you see those big ass columns. Like what's that thing on the mountain in Greece?
The Acropolis?
Yeah, the Acropolis. How the fuck did they get those things up there? Have we seen that?
Yeah, so the only thing I can think of how they would do it is they would probably use like trees as rolling logs, and then I don't know.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy, right?
Get the ox to do it.
Yeah, or even like just like cutting that out of rock.
What's it? Is the Colosseum which has like the pillars that when they go up they get wider because they want when you look straight up they want it to look straight up, but you know how when things are further away they look smaller, so they made it bigger as it went up so it would look straight when you were next to it.
Oh, really?
I think so.
That sounds pretty cool.
Me that, but I think that's what they did.
We're gonna fact check that because that sounds pretty cool. Pretty cool. Your head looks like it's gonna pop. All right. I had fun researching my thing. I kind of got off on a.
You know what I'm gonna do now, right?
But...
I'm gonna rewatch Forge and Fire.
Why?
Love it, man.
Wasn't the guy that we took the class from on that show?
Yeah. The guy we took the class from was on that show.
Oh, was he? What's his name? What's his name?
I don't remember. I could look it up and send it to you after.
Yeah, look it up because I want to know because I've probably seen him.
Okay. Cool. Let's do these random facts. Random facts.
Jojo, you're gonna have to speak up. I haven't heard a single thing you've said all day.
I haven't said a whole lot, but I'll come closer.
Now I can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me?
Nope. Get over here.
Did you have a good workout?
I did.
It's important to work out. I've been stretching for 30 minutes every day now.
Look at his hair.
So it's getting.
I don't think your headband's actually doing anything.
He looks like the kid from Big Mouth.
It
does.
What's Big Mouth? Oh, is that a thing on YouTube or YouTube? Netflix?
It's funny. You should watch it. It's really funny.
It's really funny.
Yeah. It's like you're wearing a thong.
I just don't like it touching like my forehead or like the top of my eyebrows. So I just have something to.
Your hair, you mean?
All right, you
Let's
ready?
do it. Random facts.
Is there a theme this week or is it just fuck it?
So it's fuck it, but like I also am incorporating your topic.
Got to be on your toes.
Yeah. So
I'm on my butt right now though.
Better get on your
Better
toes.
stance. Better stance. All right, you ready?
Ready.
Who was the winner of American Idol season 1 in
Kelly
2008?
Kelly Clarkson.
Oh, Kelly Clarkson!
What food does Popeye like to eat?
Spinach.
Spinach.
A little louder. Speak a little louder.
Sorry. Excuse me. What country leads the world in ethical hackers?
Sweden.
Russia.
India is the answer.
Oh.
Oh, there's so many of them. That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
There's literally a billion of them over there. With a B.
A B.
What is the name of Shakespeare's shortest tragedy?
Hamlet.
Beth.
Beth.
Macbeth.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's stupid. All right. And what is the best long range? Okay.
Yes.
I didn't.
Red.
I didn't phrase this question.
Asparagus.
But when we're talking about medieval weaponry, what was the best long range weapon?
Catapult.
Yeah, I was gonna say catapult.
Incorrect.
Ballistic.
Arrow.
It is the bow and arrow.
Yeah!
A bow and arrow can shoot up to 200 feet.
They had a ballistic though. I thought would shoot farther.
A ballista.
As a ballista.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I guess
I'm
200. But I guess I don't know if that thing would shoot farther than a bow.
Because the things are.
In terms
But
of
it's
best,
flat,
it could
right?
be most accurate too. Like
Yeah.
maybe you can most accurately shoot longest with a bow and arrow.
Yeah.
Because I'm about to say, don't catapults throw those things super far?
Yeah.
Yeah. But maybe that's just siege weaponry, and that's not included.
Okay.
That's like a group effort.
Yeah, I think this is like in
Like
terms
I'm gonna put an asterisk next to that question, just so you know, because I didn't get it right.
For everyone keeping score at home.
Asterisk.
No one got that right. Okay. What year did Barbie come out?
1971.
84.
Incorrect. The answer is 1959.
Holy shit. I would not have guessed that. Damn, that bitch is old.
Yeah.
You know what's funny though? That's probably like a Jeopardy question, and probably every single person would get that right if you
Oh,
guessed.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. There's a really good documentary on Barbie on Netflix. The Toys That Made Us. Barbie edition. It's great.
I'm definitely gonna watch that tonight.
Anyway, moving on. I See Dead People is a line from which horror film?
Makes sense.
Yes, it is.
What was it? Signs?
The Sixth Sense.
Oh, no. I haven't seen it. Don't do scary movies.
What year is... This is hard. What year...
2020.
2020.
No. What year is considered the golden age of computer hackers?
1999.
Just 1 year?
Yeah.
1999.
No.
2004.
Nope. This is a fun fact also. Year is 1959. MIT students explored the phone switching network and the control system. Cool. I thought it was.
I don't like that question.
I didn't understand. I thought golden. I didn't understand what golden age was.
I know. That's why I said this was a hard question.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
think I gave you guys enough information.
I feel like I didn't. Now that you say 1959, I would have said something older, but still not that old.
Okay. What plant is known to heal sunburn?
Aloe vera.
Yes.
I was gonna say aloe.
Yeah. Yep.
Is that the same
It's the
thing?
same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Same thing.
If the full name is aloe vera.
Oh, you said aloe vera, which has the word aloe in it. Oh man.
What are the three primary colors?
Red, blue, yellow,
Yep.
green,
Incorrect.
orange, indigo.
Roy G. Biv.
Those are secondary colors.
I know. I was
Blue, and yellow.
continuing.
What was the name of Harry Potter's pet owl?
Hedwig.
Hoodwink.
So close. Shane, you are correct.
Oh, these Harry Potter things, man. I read the books.
I don't know. Last time I feel like you weren't getting them all.
No, I got them. I got it.
Okay. What age do sons of noble families who are slated to become knights begin their apprenticeship?
14.
Yeah. Follow-up question.
Wait. Was that?
What are they called?
Stewards?
Squires. Did you actually know, or did you guess 14?
I know that.
Okay.
Yeah, he definitely knew that.
Yeah.
John is probably, when he turned 14, his dad was like, yeah, you're going to be a squire today.
It's true.
Maybe I'll do that if I have a
rubbed
kid.
hairy chest too, yeah.
If I have a boy, maybe when he's 14,
Give
I'll
him
start
to
calling
me
him
and I'll make him a
Squire.
squire.
Bowl cut.
How many hearts does an octopus have?
2.
4.
What'd you say, Shane?
2.
No. The answer is 3.
Split the difference.
Yeah.
Can we split that then? You get half a point. I'll get half a point.
Sure. Just doesn't matter.
In 2014, this company suffered the largest cyber attack to date.
What is it? One more time.
In 2014, this company suffered
Wells
the
Fargo?
largest
No,
cyber attack
that's
to
different.
date.
That's different. That was banking fraud.
Yeah.
Microsoft.
Nope.
Say
Amazon.
Oracle?
Nope. The answer is Yahoo.
Oh.
It affected 500 million user accounts.
Wow.
Yahoo.
Yeah, it's not crazy.
Damn.
And then it happened again in 2017,
Ooh, delete your Yahoo account, everybody.
but not as many.
Delete your Yahoo.
Except for fantasy football.
Yeah, seriously, that's the only time I have it. I like Yahoo Finance though. Their premium subscription is mighty fine.
Their fantasy football is way better than ESPN.
Yes.
Which actor played the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Will Smith.
William Smithage.
Today, knighthood still exists as a title of honor. Name some living knights.
Oh,
Sir Ian
Sir
McKellen.
Alex Ferguson.
No.
Sir Bobby Charlton.
Sir Ian McKellen.
No.
Prince Charles.
Nope.
Prince.
Sir Ewan McGregor.
I know.
Gandalf.
Nope.
They are all sirs. They got
Um,
knighted by the
Just
Queen.
because you're saying "sir" in front of their names doesn't mean that. Are they?
The Queen
Brian-
knighted. The Queen
Brian
knighted them.
McKnight.
I know that for a fact.
Who is? Ewan McGregor?
No, I didn't know about that. No, but Sir Bobby Charlton and Sir Alex Ferguson. Look at that.
Bobby, yes. And then who's the other one?
What did I say?
I don't know.
Bobby
Alex
Charlton.
Ferguson. Sir Alex Ferguson.
Sir Alex Ferguson.
Okay, you're correct.
I know because they're both
Um,
soccer players.
Yeah.
They're both soccer coaches. And they got knighted.
Huh.
And then there's
There's a correct answer.
Sir
to this?
Prince Harry.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
just-
Sir Prince Harry.
No, I said Prince Charles.
I don't think
Are they knights?
that's how it works.
If you're a prince, are you a knight? Or
I don't
No,
think
so
so.
knighthood was to protect.
It's like a secret brotherhood.
a knight
like
sounds
the-
so much better than prince.
Yeah, but you don't get as much money probably.
All right, if you were a chess piece, what would you be?
The Queen.
You'd be the queen just because it's the best.
Yeah.
I think I'd be the rook.
Okay.
I like the way it looks.
Going for total domination over here, Shane. Random facts. Random facts.
When I'm looking to see if a prince can be a knight.
Probably. They probably can, but they would have to be knighted.
Right.
That's not like an automatic thing.
So, as it turns out, Prince William is a knight.
Oh.
In Scotland.
Okay, interesting.
Prince William is a knight of the most ancient and most noble order of the Thistle.
Huh?
And then in England, he's a royal knight companion. I don't get it.
So what if you were like knight, like you get knighted, and then the princess wants you, and you're like, I want that knight, and now you're a knight prince. That'd be pretty cool. A knight prince sounds awesome.
A knight prince? Knight Prince Charles.
Yeah.
I don't know. Too many
Too many
names.
titles.
Yeah.
What is the name of the Disney Channel show starring Miley Cyrus as a pop star?
Hannah
Hannah
Montana.
Montana.
Hannah Montana. Which country hosted the first Olympic Games in 1896?
Greece.
Jeez.
Greece. What is Harry Houdini known for?
Magic.
Yep. Have any more questions? Oh, a knight's sword is their most important weapon. The great sword ranged from 50 to 72 inches long. How much did it weigh?
Ooh, I'm gonna say like
25 pounds.
35.
Oh, wow.
Way off.
Way off.
I would say
10
70.
Oh, wrong direction.
Oh.
10.
10.
Interesting. That's really light.
Mm-hmm. Imagine wielding around a 35-pound sword.
Yeah, well,
Nuts.
you're trying to kill someone.
Yeah.
I'd rather carry around a 35-pound sword than a 10-pound sword.
Yeah, gains, bro.
Yeah, trying to get these gains.
You know, I was thinking about this too. Back then, I feel like people were a lot less strong.
That's interesting.
They were weaker.
Because they didn't have like the right nutrients to like make their bodies stronger. And they
Yeah.
didn't train.
But you have like you have records being broken. Like lifting records. So we're clearly stronger now than we were.
That's
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Back in the day, I feel like they were not as strong as people are today.
Oh, okay. Yeah, duh. What?
So it makes sense for the weapon to be lighter back then.
Yeah.
I just didn't think yeah, you'd want a lighter weapon, but I just didn't know that they would have the ability to make it lighter.
Make it that light. Yeah.
Yeah.
Never mind. All right, ready?
Yeah.
Which Disney princess wears a yellow dress?
Cinderella.
The Sleeping Beauty.
Did you say churro?
Oh my God, it's not Cinderella. It's Belle from Beauty and the Beast.
It is Belle, but you don't get points for a second choice.
Cool.
I don't know why I even said Cinderella.
Um,
I think I just panicked, even though like I knew it.
Why did the Titanic sink?
hit an iceberg.
It did.
Negligence. That's the real answer.
How many signs are there in the zodiac?
12.
Yes.
Pew pew.
Who is the author of the novel The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe?
J.R. Tolkien.
You are correct. Yes.
What is it?
C.S. Lewis.
Tolkien is fucking Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good job, John.
That was good. Which musician starred in the Hunger Games movie series?
Eva Longoria.
What musician?
Yeah.
No, Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen the movies. I've read the books. What's Lenny? What does he
You gotta
play?
stop. You gotta give anime a break and start watching some of this other stuff, man. Stop watching anime and Forged in Fire and just expand a little bit.
Hey, we watched
One, just
Enchanted last night, just so you know. And Enchanted is a Disney.
That's a good
It's
movie.
live action.
I haven't seen it.
It's funny.
Hey, and you know what, John? We just watched a whole Korean soap opera type thing. So
All right, man.
Lay off.
Okay, all right.
the lay
all
off,
right.
man.
All right. You sure you weren't watching anime on your phone while that was going on?
No.
Okay.
All right. At what age did Amy Winehouse, Janis Joplin, and Jimi Hendrix die?
26.
No.
36.
Whoa, no. 27.
No, so close.
There's a weird. So they were talking about that at the age. Somebody was talking about the age. They all die at the same age. It's like really weird. Like so many famous people die at that age.
Yeah.
I think there's a podcast about it.
I know there's something about it. It was really freaky though when I heard it.
Yeah.
This is the podcast about it.
Like, you know what the good thing is though?
What?
I'm older than 27.
Yeah, you made it.
Made it.
Hell yeah.
Still got a couple months to go.
We'll get there.
All right. How many reindeer does Santa have?
9.
He has 8. Can you name them?
No. Bashful.
I can.
Bashful, Donner, Blitzen, Chits.
Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, Blitzen, Rudolph. Fucking 9.
No, Rudolph isn't.
It's not reindeer. He's Rudolph.
Yeah, I don't think he counts as a reindeer.
It's only part of it for that one night, man.
Rudolph the red-nosed fucking reindeer.
Well, he is a
fucking
type of reindeer, but I mean, he is like an animal reindeer, but.
So that's another asterisk.
Okay.
We're keeping score. Fans out there keeping score. Just write that down as a victory for me. Okay, thank you.
There you go. All you fans out there, you're the
We
best.
love you. We love you guys.
All right. Well, last question.
Oh.
Last 2 questions.
Two more. Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh.
Okay. In the U.S. version of The Office, there's a couple that everyone loves. What are their names?
Jim and Pam.
Jim and Pam.
Jim and Pam.
That was too easy. 2 more.
2 more.
The poet. I'm sorry. Which poet wrote the iconic poem "The Raven"?
Edgar Allan Poe.
Allan Poe.
Yeah.
So that really weird. I was like, Edgar Allan Poe.
Oh, well, Allan Poe.
You know he was from Baltimore, right?
Yeah, I did.
That's why the Ravens are called the Ravens.
Yep.
Just so you, fun fact out there for y'all.
Ready? This is the last one.
Yep.
Okay. Who is Wile E. Coyote always trying to catch?
Roadrunner.
Yep.
Yep. There it is.
So there's a drunk history. Have you ever seen Drunk
Yeah,
History?
I saw that one. That was funny.
Edgar Allan Poe.
Oh, no, the one on the Roadrunner. Sorry.
Oh, I didn't know there was one on the Roadrunner.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. But no, there's
But
one on
anyways.
Edgar Allan Poe, and it's really good. You should watch it.
I like Drunk History, yeah. We should watch some
Like-
Drunk History tonight.
Okay.
Cool. All right, it's episode 14 in the motherfucking books. Follow us on social media. Hit us up. Text me. Do whatever you got to do. Just be about it, all right? Shane, got anything to say to people?
So I think the quarantine is coming to an end. But remain safe. If you feel like you are at risk, take the necessary precautions in your life. Also, get healthier by exercising and eating right.
All right. See